Hi, everybody. It's Craig and Doc's Daily today. How about it's Wednesday the 13th, and we are, 10 days to the start of college football, I believe, right? It's Saturday. We got that big game that weekend. It's Kansas State, Iowa State in Dublin, right? Isn't it Dublin?
Yep, Dublin.
Dublin. So we'll be talking college football and more NFL as we get closer towards that. But, of course, I got Raphael and Nick making with me today to talk all things betting today, including we got some MLB plays. Maybe we'll pull some WNBA from these guys, maybe, or even a prop play. So let's take care of business before we get to it. Don't forget, if you haven't done so, make sure you check out the free $60 account. It's docsports.com/free60. All new customers get a free $60 account just to test us out. You can use that on a daily pass. You can use it on a weekly pass. You can use it just like cash on and it comes with the profit guarantees just like you're using cash. So you really get to see and sample us and see how we work. So make sure you take advantage of it. Also, don't forget the football passes are on sale. Early bird prices, $250 off, $749. That's all college football, NFL, both preseason and all the way through the Super Bowl, $749. And if you buy it now, you get an extra 2 cappers for the first 2 weeks through the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. So make sure you get in on that and take advantage of it. Okay. Don't forget about the premium level 1, 2, and 3. Click the link in the description to find out, but it's anywhere from $4.99 for Lenny's, and you get early access to a bunch of videos. $19.99 Indian Cowboy. $49.99. You get all of us, all of our plays, 3 different cappers every day that I give out for you in a video form. So I'll pick a random different guys every day. So you make sure you get in on that. And if you get level 3, you get 1, 2. Or if you get 2, you get 1 and 2. So make sure you take advantage of it. All right. I got all the business out of the way. Boss, I took care of it. If he's watching, I got it. But, Nick, how did you do yesterday? And I think you had a big WNBA play on Monday, right?
Yeah, Monday we cashed in with the 7-unit, but we dropped 4-unit yesterday. I had the LA Sparks at home +4, and New York Liberty just got off to a hot start there. They ended up winning, I believe, by 8. We dropped that one, so I'm passing today in WNBA, but I'm back on the diamond. We also dropped our 1 play yesterday. We had the Baltimore Orioles. I love that plus money at home with Kramer on the mound, and it finished 1-0. Just no offense there from Baltimore, but we're back on the diamond here at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just have a single play, and I have a prop tonight, Craig.
All right, Raphael, we know you're not the king of the big plays, but tell us how you've been doing and what you got for tonight.
Baseball just been cruising along, having a nice winning season. Nothing big today. I think I just have a 4-unit play today. Nothing big. I'm with Nick. Had the Sparks yesterday plus the 4. I thought it was a great spot for them, and they just came out rusty. I did have Plum total points and rebounds as a prop bet, so that was a winner for me. But I was looking for a little bit more Sparks action. Cameron Brick, can you please play more than 4 minutes? What were you doing yesterday? It was bad coaching or something like that. I don't know why. I understand why she didn't play 4 minutes, but I had the Royals yesterday on the run line. I was sweating. I mean, you're up by 5, then you're only up by 3, something like that. So something that made your stomach turn all the way for 9 innings. So it was a nice winning day in general.
All right. I do have a big play today. I have a 7-unit top total of the month. There's only the second one. We dropped our first one in July. So I owe revenge, but it's going back like the last 6 years. I'm like 68% or 70%. I think it's 68% now with that loss that happened in July. So we're back at it tonight, and it comes with a 4-unit side as well. So make sure you check that out over at the website. Coming off a 3-0 day yesterday. Let's keep it rolling. And, hey, talking about keeping it rolling, let's go with Raphael. Raphael, first of all, like after the preseason, did we see any movement with the odds?
Totals we did, of course, because they went 14-2. If you want to count the Hall of Fame game, 15-2. If you want to call closing lines, 14-3. But no matter what, if you had the over, you pretty much cashed. 9 games this week have 40 plus or higher. 6 of those games opened up at 37 and moved 3 points or higher right now, and it's only August 13th. So pump the brakes a little bit. I think we'll see a little bit more defense being played this one. I think we'll see a little bit more quarterback play. Who had good games on this one, maybe a little bit more. I think Dart will play a little bit more. I think Sanders might play a little bit less because I think other quarterbacks are going to need to get some reps in to see how their progression. So don't just pump the brakes and just bet the overs on all these games on week 2.
Yeah, I'm not a bet across the board kind of guy, but I'm guessing if you took them all under this week, you'll have a profit because I mean, one, they got inflated. Like you said, the numbers were inflated because of what we got stung the week before. And then they got bet anyway. If you look at the percentages already coming in, all the over bettors are coming in. There was some huge tickets I saw out there where they the parlay and 10 overs and they all hit. So I'm guessing as a betting man, which I am, I'm thinking the unders cash big this week. I'm thinking like 65 to 70% unders cash. What do you think?
Isn't it funny that the highest total last week was a Kansas City Chiefs game? And what happened to that game? That game went under the total. So I thought that was kind of funny how ironic that happened. And then the Saints game, 3-0 at the first quarter, which they called me and see if I can play quarterback. And that game goes over. But I think Kellen Moore might be my favorite head coach already. Because remember, he kicked that field goal with 6 seconds left to push the game over the total. So he might be my new favorite head coach.
Yeah, they're going back to the Aints. The way they played last week. So maybe, we talked about it on Monday. I think Nick was with me. You don't want to overreact, but Nick, like you start to at least, if you're a fan, you raise your hand, this might be a tough season. If you're the Saints, the Panthers, I thought was pretty disappointing. Is it too early to sound the whistle there?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely too early, I would say, especially on those teams that, they're over-unders at 5.5, 7.5. Definitely a little too early. Obviously, you want to see those starters, and I believe the starters will start to get in here maybe the first quarter or this next week, the following week there, and play all the first half. So I would say it's a little too early just yet. I wouldn't hit the panic button if you're the Carolina Panthers fans or if you're Washington Commanders fans as they got their butts whooped against the New England Patriots. It's still preseason, doesn't necessarily matter that much. Guys are still trying to fill roles. So I would just say it's a little too early to hit the panic button on any of these teams, Craig.
At least the Commanders, they were resting, 30 players? So you kind of okay, you get a pass here. They play my Bengals this week on Monday night. So we'll see where that one goes. But, the Patriots, man, the Patriot fans are they think they won the Super Bowl because they freaking, it's dude, settle down. I do think it's going to be better here. Mike Vrabel is a very good coach, especially, he's one of those guys. Pete Carroll's in that same where he's kind of like the rah-rah coach that gets them on, they do the right thing, and he's going to get the most out of those talents. But I still think that offense still could maybe be some issues. So I'm interested to see what they do this week. And then I'm guessing they'll probably be resting everyone week 3. But let's talk baseball. Nick, why don't you start us off? What do you like as a free play today? I some early plays in here, but what do you like?
Yeah, I got a little later one. Let's look at that Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets. And the Mets, man, they put up 13 runs, and they didn't have enough fireworks at the end to have a fireworks show because they were lighting it off, because the offense was absolutely hitting dingers yesterday. But let's look at this one as Carlos Carrasco will get the start here for the Atlanta Braves. He's 2-2, but his ERA is high. It's over a 6 here on 43 innings of work. He has 32 strikeouts here, so he's not overpowering. And you look at this Atlanta Braves team, they're only 5-5 here in their last 10 games, and on the road they've been awful this year with a record of 21-38 here. For the New York Mets, they got David Peterson, more reliable arm here for the Mets. For David Peterson, he's 7-5 on the season. His ERA is just under 3 here. I like this New York Mets team to keep hitting the baseball here. I look at this over, and the over sitting at 7.5. You saw good offense from the Atlanta Braves there. I believe they put up a 5 spot early in the first 5 innings in yesterday's ball game. I look for those bats to continue swinging here well against Peterson, but I'm taking this over here. I think this number is a little too low at 7.5, especially what I saw from yesterday. People are going to say, oh, they used all their home runs yesterday. I don't think so, because the New York Mets, they're 2-8 here still in their last 10 games. What I saw yesterday was that offensive performance out of them. I love this over here. I think they get at least 3, 4, or 5 runs here in the first 5 innings against Carlos Carrasco. So I'm going with the over 7.5 in the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets, Craig.
Yeah, like Raphael, what do you think of this Mets team? I thought they made really good moves at the trade deadline. Similar to the Yankees, I thought they fixed their bullpen issues. But since the trade deadline, they both have kind of just been eh. What do you think of this Phillies team and the chances moving forward, not just today, but moving forward?
You're muted, Ralph.
You're muted.
Sorry about that. My phone was ringing, so I had to mute. It's hard for me to say when my team in my backyard is because they stink right now. But I would not be shocked if the Yankees do not make the playoffs. I mean, I don't think they pitch their starting pitching. Yes, their bullpen was supposed to be fixed, and it doesn't look fixed to me. And Judge does not look the same after coming off the injured reserve. So I think they have issues there. The Mets, I think their schedule gets a little bit lighter. They still have to play the Rockies. They're at home against the Phillies. I think the Phillies win that division. They're still going to make the playoffs. But boy, wouldn't it be so hilarious? I might fall off my chair or might wet my pants if the Dodgers and Yankees both don't make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, you never say never, but I think the Dodgers are going to be able to fix it. I just don't know between the Mets and the Yankees. I guess the Mets would be the one that I trust a little more.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I thought that the Yankees, we had talked about this, I think, going way back a month or two, that they were just so heavily dependent on Judge. And he was having career year before the injury. Like that's hard because eventually people just start walking him. Like, dude, we're not going to let this guy beat us, and we're going to make some other people beat us. Then, like you said, the bullpen has not looked fixed. They've blown, 3 saves, I think?
3 saves.
3 since trade deadline. And with the guys that they got, in the trade. So that's a problem. I do think that will get fixed. I think the bullpen, but, can they get enough starting pitching? Can they find enough hitting? That'd be the interesting thing. What do you like as a free play here today, Raphael?
I would go to the Dodgers that I made fun of just a couple seconds ago. And I'm going to Dodgers, Angels. I know the Angels own the Dodgers later, but I'm going to go the under. That's right, under. I did not typo this and stuff like that. I'm going to take the first 5 under 5 runs. Ohtani's on the mound. I think that's the reason why I like this under. But Kyle Hendricks, even though his fastball, I walk faster to the stop sign than his fastball hits it. He's really good in the first 3 innings. His last 5 games. The first 5 has hit under 4 out of those 5 games. I think he controls the Dodgers bats early. I think we'll see less scoring in the first 5 and a lot of runs scored afterwards. I think both bullpens get lit up. So I'm going to say Ohtani controls what he can control. And I think Kyle Hendricks can keep it under 5 runs just himself. So I'm going to take the under 5 runs. You're only laying 3 nickels. If this was anybody else, if the Dodgers were at home and vice versa, it would be 5 and a juiced up would be over probably 120, 130, just because it's on Angels and you have Ohtani on the mound. So I'm going to take the value where I see it.
Well, they've won 5 in a row, going back to last season, I think,
Yep.
right? Head to head. So it's just crazy because the talent gap between these two teams is pretty severe. I kind of think you got to take the plus 1.5 with the Angels getting them at plus 105 still. It just seems like, I don't know why. It doesn't make zero sense. Although the Angels, if you look, I think they're the more profitable team this season, right? Between the two, if you bet them every game, I believe the Angels actually have a pretty big significant edge. Let me check. Yeah, they're up plus 1164 in the year. The Dodgers are down minus 958 if you bet every game for $100 because the Dodgers have been favored every game. So that tells you in baseball, even if your bet teams that you think are really good, like because of the juice, that the money line is it's the spread. It's the great equalizer for your bankroll. So I think you take the plus 1.5 in that one. But as another free play, I like a little action on the Phillies today. My Reds, they got a nice win yesterday, but I've been following Hunter Green's starts that he's had, the rehab starts. They have not been good at all. And at least not what we saw, what we expected All-Star from last year. And you do not want to be struggling to find the plate against the Phillies because the Phillies will deposit them over the wall. And after the Reds beat them up yesterday, I think they win the series today. I think the Phillies get the win here, and it's not that big a price. And if you really like it, maybe even the first 5 as well, because like I said, then you're basically just taking the starter matchup, which I think maybe a couple starts, Hunter Green will figure it out. But I just think first time back, I think you play against them today. Now, let's talk a little WNBA. We're at a point now where we're starting to see the finish line. Because as you start to see football come around, you start to think, okay, who's going to make the playoffs in the WNBA? To start to, the playoff push, as they say in sports. Is there a WNBA play that you like out there, Nick, today? I know you didn't have a premium play, but is there one that out of these 4 games that you like maybe more than the others?
Yeah, let's look at that New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces. Obviously, Liberty just got done on the road with LA yesterday, and I think those legs are going to be a little tired. We're starting to see Las Vegas starting to add up a couple of wins in their win column here. So I like laying the points minus 2.5 here at home with Las Vegas. I just think New York's going to be a little tired, especially on the road. And you look at the history of the New York Liberty, they have not played good whatsoever on the road. I think they're one of the worst covering teams this season here on the road. So I would lay the points here with a healthy Las Vegas Aces team tonight, -2.5, Craig.
It's a little suspicious line because playing last night in a back-to-back, you don't see that much in the NBA. They do not do a whole lot. It's not like the NBA where pretty much like every other week you're playing a back-to-back. You don't get that a lot in the WNBA. Now, it's Las Vegas to LA is not that difficult of a, like that's not terrible, but still against a rested team, it seems like they would be more like a 4-point favorite, 4.5. So that was the only thing that made me worry. I almost made this. I don't put out a lot of WNBA because I was going to play this side that like you like as well. Anything else you like, Robert, maybe in the WNBA today?
Well, the Robert's on tomorrow, so I'll have to wait to see what he answers to.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to jump back on that game.
The better haircut, Raphael.
And the Liberty are still playing with no Stewie in the lineup, and they haven't covered. They're 2-7 against the spread their last 10 with one of those pushes, so they're a totally different team with no Stewie in the lineup. So I do like that. I would probably look at first half play as well in that game. I'm going to go to the last game, Atlanta-Seattle. Why is the Atlanta Dream plus 2.5 in this when they've been covering and winning machines right now? And Seattle at home has not been a nice home field advantage or home court advantage for them lately. Give me the better team. Atlanta plays better defense. They control the boards. I just like the Dream plus 2.5. I had to wait. I saw 2.5 last night. I bet a little bit for myself, and then this morning I'm like, oh, it's probably going to be pick'em when I wake up, and it was still 2.5, so I had to take a little bit more, plus 2.5 on this one. I just think the line is totally wrong. It would not be shocked me if the Dream, who has a winning record on the road this season, steals this game in Seattle.
I got one. What do you know what the win total, Raphael, was with Golden State this year?
Yeah, I don't know.
They've got they're 16 and 15 right now.
Yeah,
they have more wins than Washington they're playing tonight, which I guarantee there wouldn't have been anybody and their mother in the WNBA stratosphere that would have said this team has a chance at playoffs, and they have a really good chance to make the playoffs this year.
Because of defense. Their defense is unbelievable.
They're a great team. They play team basketball. It's like they don't have that one superstar, so they don't have a choice, but it's been an amazing year. So what do you think, Nick?
Yeah, they're ahead in Gem in the first half. I've been betting them all season long, and they've been covering that first half spread. So yet again, I'm going to go right back to it. I can't believe I missed this one for a premium selection, though. Obviously, it's -1.5 for the full game, but I think the Golden State gets off to a hot start here. They're averaging 75.5 points per game, obviously. I like them. I like them in the first half, and I'm going to keep riding that trend. I'll probably put in a wager here after Doc's Daily.
I'm guessing in the offseason, this is going to be a team that makes a move for a big free agent, because if you just plugged a top 15 player in that lineup, you're talking about a team that is going to be good for a while. But way they, in expansion drafts, the way you have to build your team, you just don't get those superstars very often. So we'll see how that happens in the offseason. But it's been a great ownership group, good coaching experience, like the whole thing. If you've watched any of those games, it's pretty electric. Home court as well. So
yes.
They've been very good at home. So people are asking about Brewers. I know you answered, Raphael. Like, I don't know when the Brewers are going to lose. Like, they're winning 75% of the games, going back 65 games. Like, Raphael, why aren't the books laying bigger numbers? I mean, we talked about this. I think it was Nick and I on Monday. They're underdogs in so many occasions. What is going on? Is it just because they're such a small market team?
Yeah, even though they're hot, they're still not one of the biggest bet teams. I mean, I could guarantee you the Yankees probably have more dollar volume on them today than the Milwaukee Brewers, who have won 11 straight. I can guarantee you the Cubs have more value on the Brewers, who are 7.5 games behind the Brewers in the first game because they're the Milwaukee Brewers. So it's just, a lot of these numbers is because the action is just not coming in. Now, everyone's watching ESPN. Ooh, they won 11 straight. What's their number? Yeah, $10 here, $20 here. But we all know those don't move the numbers. It's the big bets and the whales that come in and move those numbers. And they're just not coming in. Today, they are, because it's an early game. I would have loved to see this game if this was a normal 7 o'clock game. If this would have been minus, I think, 205 when it opened up. I saw 250 before we jumped on the air. I would have loved to see if this game was an evening game, what the line movement would have been.
Like, I think they're the number one profitable team, and they got to be, right? They're up 24.
Yeah.
24.
Them or Cleveland.
Like, that's $2,400 for a team that's good. Usually, teams that are good, you got to lay big numbers, like, because it's usually the Dodgers. It's like, and like with the juice part, when they do lose, that eats into those profits for the year. But $2,400 up for a $100 better is kind of crazy that you could literally not play any other team and be setting pretty good for your bankroll for this year. And I don't see, like, they're not doing it with like just hot bats. It's not just pitching. It's like just team baseball. They've been great relief. They've been great starting. The bats have come alive the last 2 months. Nick, is there any end in sight that you'd like? Like, I just don't see a super weakness for this team where you're going to see like a 10-game losing streak, or where they lose 10, only win 2 games in 10 or something.
No, not at all. I mean, you hit it on the head. This team camaraderie is spot on. They are playing for each other in this locker room. You got no superstars getting in the way like an Aaron Judge or a Freddie Freeman Ohtani, so to speak, where you rely on those guys all the time to do the damage. You got Contreras, you got Vaughn, you got Yelich. Yelich, yeah, he had his time, but you just got a group of guys that really mesh well together. Yep. And this rotation has been flying under the radar, like I keep saying, and they're one of the best in baseball here. They're currently 3rd in ERA, sitting at a 3.5 here. They've just been playing very good baseball, 11-game winning streak. Do not bet against the Brewers. I don't care if they're minus 250. I wouldn't put it in the parlay because it might get chopped, but all the value here is on the Brewers, but I would not take it whatsoever until they start simmering down, so to speak, or slowing down. This pace of play and the way they've been swinging the bats and pitching all around is just fantastic. It sucks to say that as a diehard Cubs fan because I can't take it anymore, 7.5 games behind them, but you got to tip your caps to what the Milwaukee Brewers are doing. They're playing great together, and that team camaraderie is what takes you far in the playoffs.
Mizorowski, I think he'd be back this week, right, too? Like he's missed. He went on the IL, missed the start. I think that was a week ago Saturday. So
I would hold him back. Why bring him back so soon? If he's not ready, I would hold him back. You got Woodruff.
Yes. I mean, they have the riches they have right now is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think he's that guy that you go into a 6-man rotation and be like, hey, where we are at the if we give everybody an extra day rest, keep everybody healthy. I think Mizorowski's going to be on, like, you basically only play 3 starters when you get into the extended series. I think he's going to be the 3rd starter for that team. Like, I think he has the 3rd best stuff. Like, he has a lot of hit and miss stuff, which in the playoffs, I think you'd have to have. And so I think that's why they need to get him back, so kind of get him and see and make sure he's ready. Do you feel that, Nick? Do you think he's the 3rd best starter, like, if it comes playoff time?
I would say so. I mean, it's very hard to say right now, obviously, because he's got to come back off that injury, but it's very hard to hit his stuff. Not many guys have faced him a lot, clearly, because he just got called up. I would call him the 3rd best guy in this rotation. You got Freddie Peralta and then Woodruff. Woodruff has been looking great. He's 4-0 this season. His ERA is at like a 2.2 this year. He starts today against Mitch Keller too, so I'm very interested to see how he does here at home.
This is a 6th start of the year. Like, he had that late start.
Yeah, 6. This is 6th start.
So, like, we'll see what that happens because sometimes guys can hit a wall a little bit when they they come back from injury, especially missing most of the season. I'm interested to see what that lineup does because as a manager, that's what you want. You want 5 or 6 guys you have to choose from. You're like, damn, I really don't have a bad option here, and they already have a good bullpen. Imagine if you need a long relief guy and you got some of these starters that are sitting there in the bullpen come playoffs. So I'm excited for what we're going to see in the NL playoffs. I think they're going to be good. AL playoffs, like like
Seattle. I can't wait to watch Seattle in the playoffs.
Yeah, but like, are you sold on Seattle?
Who else are you sold on in the American League? Not the Yankees.
That's what I'm saying. There's no team in the American League that I'm like, this is the team that I think I was going to put money down. I don't believe in any of it. Like,
I would love to see Seattle in the ship. I mean, that'd be fantastic to see them.
They're playing.
Well, I'm not saying, but I'm saying to win a championship, that'd be kind of cool to see Seattle there in that spot.
Like, I don't like the one thing they don't have those starters that we talked about in Milwaukee. I think Texas has the best starters. It's like they don't give them run support though. Like, it's like the opposite. You would think Seattle would be the team with those pitching better usually, and they don't hit the ball. But this year it's been Texas, so we'll see what we get out there. But then NL. It's like, dude, the Cubs were hot early. The Brewers have been hot now. We've seen the Phillies being hot. We've seen the Mets. We've seen the Dodgers early. Can the Dodgers recover? I mean, like, there's Padres. Like,
I think the Padres are going to get it this year. I really do.
Me too.
The offense has got to come up and step up, and I think they could get over the hump this year against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Are they? What's the status on that on the West, on the NL West? Does anybody have that up right now?
They're tied right now.
Yeah, tied right
exactly.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Dodgers,
winning that division is going to be big. Whoever wins that division is going to have a huge. I just think the wild cards. I know we've seen the wild cards do very well. like we've seen teams win championship or win the World Series as a wild card. I think in the NL this year, you better not be the wild card. I just think it's going to be very tough to go on the road and win this year. I just think they're that close. Teams, that home field is going to matter this year. So excited for when we get there. Raphael, we talked in the NFL with teams that were bad and good this past week. Did we see any big movement on over-unders? Like I was going to be big on the Saints under, but I always release the unders or the unders and overs for my, the top under, the top over to my NFL guys. I always wait till the last, just in case of injuries. Now did I miss my window here because I was going to play the under on the Saints, and now I'm guessing as bad as they look.
Under for the game or under for total season
wins?
Win
total, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I think two publications, I think USA Today was yesterday and another one a couple of days ago, said 2 wins for the Saints. So, yeah, they're a complete train wreck. That quarterback room looks like our picture right now on people's computers. That's what the quarterback room looks like right now.
You mean we couldn't be quarterbacks, you're saying?
We probably could for the Saints, but I'm just saying that's how bad their QB room is. You know what? I'll throw this out. I kind of like the game over a little bit this week. You figure the Saints quarterbacks, one of them is going to have to step up and put some points on the board and have a good game. They're at home.
Or maybe
you're playing Jacksonville. You're playing Jacksonville. I wouldn't be shocked if this one goes over the total.
This was going to be my best underplay, but now I think I got to wait for it to move down, right? Like I got to wait for them because it's really highly juiced. Like I'm not laying minus 150, minus 145 on a bet that lasts this long. You know what I mean? Like that's just even if I think there's a good chance that's going to happen.
Well, you need to open up a book for just futures. So open up a book, and that's all you use that book for is just futures. So then you don't have to look at the money. You just, just look at it.
All right.
My top over team, I thought was going to be the Bills. They did nothing to disappoint me off of that. I just think even though the Patriots were good, I still think that's a division they're going to dominate again. And I think I always like to have over teams that are going to dominate the division. I think they're the most likely division winner that's going to dominate. Is that your opinion on that, or is there another team in that division you think is maybe on the come up?
I guess I'm high on the Bills just because the story I read about Allen, who turned down $11.4 million to do a real estate project that was going to tear down homes that only small people can afford them, and they want to build high rises. He's like, no, I'm from a small town, a small community. It's all about community. So I'm really high on Buffalo after I read that story. But I can see them total season wins division 3.5. I can see if you don't want to play the juice to win a division, I'd say maybe take the over under 3.5 wins in the division.
Yeah, I think they sweep that division. I think the Patriots are going to be a lot better. I think the Dolphins are going to be about the same. We're going to have injury issues. Go figure. The Jets are the great wild card. If you said the Jets end up with 7 wins or they ended up with 2 wins, I wouldn't be shocked either way. I don't know what to get with Justin Fields. That guy, talent-wise, he's like Nick when it comes to talent of baseball. It's he's got it. It's just he hasn't been able to put it together and hit guys accurately. Nick, we can't let you go before we go without talking about your Bears. Obviously, Caleb Williams sounds like he's going to play this week, right?
Yep, he should be in there. I believe the first drive, hopefully the first quarter, though.
What do you need to see? Because I've seen some stuff from training camps that it kind of looks a lot like last year that made me freaking a little concerned for you and Nick and Robert, right? All 3 of you Bears fans?
Yeah. I'm not a Bears fan. Don't put me in that category.
I know I'm a diehard, but I would like to see, especially if Caleb Williams is in. Let's move the chains a little bit. Obviously, with the new coordinator and head coach here with Ben Johnson, I liked his play calls. And if you saw that game last week, it ended in a tie, and we had the ball there with about 50 seconds left on the clock, and I believe it was second down. And I forgot who the quarterback was, but he had a nice slant, and the receiver dropped the ball, would have got us into field goal position there, and we would have kicked the field goal. Those are the play calls that I love to see as a fan and as a capper here with my team watching that, hey, this play call, it's going to open up the field. We got Ben Johnson. He was with the Detroit Lions there, and he's going to call it right. And I believe in this guy, and we'll see it. I want to see the starters here in the first drive. I want to see a couple first downs here, and I want to see that ball in the end zone for the Chicago Bears, especially with our starters. We need to be more efficient on the offensive side and put the ball in the end zone here for my Chicago Bears, and I'm looking forward to it in the first quarter of this week's preseason.
So you're playing the Bears the first quarter. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. Hey,
I don't like to bet preseason. I stand back. I like to see the new coaches, the offensive schemes, obviously the defensive schemes. We got a lot of new pieces here. I don't like to wager my wad on preseason football just because the unknown, obviously. But I like to see and read, especially with the eye test and the play calling and how we move in the pace of play.
To me, I just want to see if he can get the ball out quickly. Caleb Williams held the ball way too long last year. Like, he didn't have a great offensive line. I give you that. But he didn't do them any favors. He didn't, if you have a better offensive line, you got to, and maybe it was play calling. Maybe Ben Johnson will fix that. But to me, he's got to get the ball out a little quicker. Then every once in a while, we'll see that amazing, impromptu that he was known for, especially the year he won the Heisman, and that can come in. But to me, that seemed to be like the norm last year, where he's running around on every play. It's like, that just doesn't work. I mean, Patrick Mahomes can do it, and he still doesn't do it very often. It's like you got a little better timing. So I'm interested to see that Bears team. I'm still on a seller on that team, to be honest, until they prove it. They got to prove it to me first. I'm a seller until they prove it to me. I do think Ben Johnson came from the best offensive line in football, the best running team in football, to maybe the bottom tier offensive line potentially, and a team that it's probably not going to run the ball. They don't have the talent, obviously, there. So that is the worries. If you're
Ben Johnson's the savior. What are you talking about?
If he wins, he will be. He ain't buying any steaks at Morton Steakhouse if he wins in Chicago. Let's just say that. So there we have it. We got a bunch of free picks for you today. Hope everybody had a good one. Don't forget, if you haven't done so, like and subscribe. Also, get in on the premium level here at YouTube, either level 1, 2, or 3. Click the link to buy below, and have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Hope all your bets are winning ones.